what I
the
mean.
issue, yeah,
Yeah.
the issue is like I don't know how to, like, with how complex things are in the world, right? Like there's the old Destiny meme of like the world is just, we've solved all the easy problems and now we have like all these difficult issues and nobody wants to do the legwork to understand them, right?
Yeah.
And um on one hand I agree with that, but on the other hand I think that people want to believe the positions. Like they do. They because people think that the world is way more exciting than it actually is, you know? People
Yeah.
want to live in the like Tom
Yeah.
Clancy movie, right? Or video game or book or whatever.
Hmm.
They there's always a, you know, there's always a reason for everything. And it's either the CIA or the FBI or someone in our own government that's like shitting down our own throats and not letting us, you know, just live as our normal selves. When
Well,
really the people
what
who are
about
lying to us the most are people who are antagonistic to us, and then people are
what
sucking
about
them
the
off.
what about the opposite that nothing means anything, right? Because I think that that's probably that's a lot. There are a lot more people that are kind of stuck in that kind of incoherent nihilism.
Can you explain what you mean?
Nothing means everything. There's no reason to bother because everything's going to keep being the exact same way it's always going to be. Like, why bother if nothing's ever going to really change? You know, that's like what causes people like Luigi to go and kill out and kill healthcare CEOs. Is feeling like they're dispossessed and that they can't change anything.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah, This is a circular conversation, by the way, because
yeah.
ultimately, I think you're trying to say is I don't want to do populism, and what I want to say is I don't think you can afford to not do populism.
Right, but like I and I've thought about that too. Like if I
Hmm.
was going to try and, you know, shift my messaging or like what I like how I talk about things to have like a more populist bent, um, it
Well,
unironically like I've thought about this and it just comes off as like Trump derangement syndrome,
yeah,
like
but the thing is
unironically.
though, Sondsol, there is a form of populism that works out really well. It's Trump's form of populism, right? And that's
Yeah,
just
populism, populism, where you vote
yes,
against
yes,
your
yes.
own interests and then
Wait, wait,
you
stop. No,
crash
no,
your
no, 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 no,
economy.
no. No, you've missed. No, no, stop. Calm down. It's okay. All right, it's okay. Trump populism is insulting people. Do you want to know the one thing I remember about 2016?
What?
Five Guys, Boogers, and Lies. Okay? Five Guys, Boogers, and Lies was a meme about Ted Cruz and his wife getting ran through by five dudes while he watched, while he ate his boogers because he ate a booger on a debate stage. And
Forgot about that.
I remember that meme. Okay. Do I remember anything else? No, I remember him calling Jeb Bush boring. Boring. All right, you gotta wake up, Jebby. Like whatever. Like that's the sort of thing. We the only way you're gonna combat these people is show how
No,
funny
yeah,
they are. Right? And that is populism. Because it's irrational. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does let you say, hey, maybe you shouldn't debate that woman in the bar.
Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, I don't disagree with you on the form of populism where you just like shit on the other side and you make them look because they are. But again, like that brings me back to what I was saying earlier, where like there's infinite plot armor for Donald Trump because they like him being a they
Because
revel
he's
in
charismatic.
anti-intellectualism. Like
Guy,
I hate to bring
this
up the
is dude,
fascism thing, but like
bro.
if you read Giovanni Gentile, they literally say like the only reason that intellectual endeavors should be pursued is so that they can, you know, like trigonometry. The only reason that trigonometry should
I
be
swear,
useful for the average person is so that you can figure out how high to crank the artillery cannon to blow up the enemies of the state.
you
Like
know, it's like,
that.
can I just say the one thing that I find very funny about this election is liberals discovering the word fascist and calling Donald Trump it after admonishing people for calling people fascists for as long. I do want to say there's something about that that just makes me laugh and chuckle a little bit inside.
It was I. This is where because
Yeah,
I know
I
what you're
know.
talking about.
Yeah,
Like because I to be fair, I was one of those people, and it was
yeah, I
because
know. It's
it
okay. I
felt
don't.
like yeah no, but like it's like a change in political messaging, not because
Mhm.
I think that
Yeah,
I
because
think that prior to
you agree with the prognosis. Okay, it's just so you have
the
this
efficacy
group
of
of
like calling everyone fascist, like it got so old after a while because not everyone's a
yeah.
fascist. And even prior to this
Well,
election, Donald Trump seemed a little less fashy until I learned a
okay.
little bit
Well,
more about
would
the
you?
January 6th stuff. But like,
Yeah.
there's so much more fashy shit now than
Okay.
there
Well,
was at the beginning of the
would you
election.
call? I mean, so okay. So would you call Hassan a socialist?
Yeah.
Okay. And what you call him that because he believes in the program of socialism, right?
Yeah, and he's like a self-avowed socialist, and I
Okay.
think that a lot of the stuff that he said before was like highly coded,
Hmm.
like you know, boil the frog slowly type shit. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna give you like the healthcare is
So if
free
somebody looks
memes.
at this one group who's doing a lot of stuff that aligns with what fascist groups would do, and you're saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't call them fascists. Yeah, like I mean, here's the whole thing. It's just yeah, we've just been shitting on the left for a while, and that's fine. They deserve it, honestly. You know, they need to get sturdy. Okay, this is like my issue with the left, not sturdy people. Okay, we need a sturdier left. That's my opinion. I think
You mean like
what
a
I should.
socialist left, or do you mean like just like a broader?
No, well, what I mean is we need like I'm gonna be honest. So I've been lifting. I'm
Hmm.
exercising. I'm gonna get into fighting shape, and I think what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna become the Joe Rogan of the left by fighting Jackson Hinkle.
Let's go.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, right? Like I think we need that. I think the left needs to toughen up a lot about some of the rhetoric and understanding because I think this is a disagreement I had with this one person in chat who was like, "Oh, Destiny's not a part of the left." I fundamentally disagree with that. I think that the whole point of critical support is I don't necessarily agree with the programs you want to put out as a liberal, right? But at the same moment, I'm like, yeah, we still have to like work together for the overall programs. Yeah, at some point maybe we progress, and you're like, oh, maybe we should go further, and then we can have that conversation when we get there. But it's of material advantage to me to go ahead and ally myself with people that are going to get me closer to that goal, right?
Yeah, and like
And this is the
I've also thought
controversy
about
to
this is that
Hassan
like
it's revolutionaryism versus incrementalism, right?
yeah, but because nobody wants to do the legwork of incrementalism.
Yeah, and it's also very difficult to go ahead and get against the established ties. Like, for instance, the whole AOC thing, right? Like, that's the whole narrative that's going to be drawn from the electing the throat cancer guy to lead the oversight committee, right?
Yeah.
Like, like, even if, all right, again, let's just say, hey, it makes total sense you would have this person go in there. It does go against the narrative. One, two, the guy has literal throat cancer. Why are we putting him in critical positions? We did this with Feinstein. We just learned this with Feinstein. Why are we doing it again? You know, this is even like this is something that I think has been, it's. I understand that they're doing it because yeah, the guy probably is a better candidate if we're looking at like the history of everything regarding it. He's probably got more history. He's probably got more experience. He probably knows how to do all the different things, right? We still probably need to start putting new people in. And there is this absolute resistance to any change with Democrats. And that's what
That
the
is
messaging
true.
looks like.
That
And
is
that's
true,
this
and
is
that's one
why
of
there's
my
no
big
trust.
criticisms. That's one of my big
Be-
criticisms of
yeah.
Democrats. But the problem is that like the internal pushes from the like newer Democrats,
Mhm.
they like the progressive caucus, they shoot
Yeah.
themselves in the dick so much. Like I don't hate AOC or like any of the progressives like inherently,
Mhm.
right? And it's not like I disagree with even the majority of what they like say or
No.
support, right? Like I want single payer healthcare. I think that would be great, right? Like Green New Deal, let's go. Like broadly, I agree with them, but then like they do shit that makes them look insane. And then they lose elections and they lose power because they say like crazy shit about Jews and the
Oh no, that
most
doesn't
recent
matter.
election.
No, that doesn't matter because the Trump people say crazy shit about Jews.
Yeah, but they
Marjorie
have
Taylor Greene.
infinite plot armor. They can do
But wait,
whatever they
why do they have
want
infinite plot armor?
because their side doesn't give a about what their actions are, and our
Okay, but
side
that's not what
does.
they're not. You're not winning. Kamala reached out to Republicans. It didn't work, right? Like we have to
Yeah,
reach
because
out
if it came
to
from a
moderates.
Democrat, again, like I think that I'm almost to the point where I think that the Democrat is a completely dead party because no
Mhm.
matter, like, again, it doesn't matter if we have all of the data, all of the facts, like a million like points of data in front of you saying this is like the reality of the situation. This is what is factually true with all of the evidence laid out right here for you. People will put on their blinders and not believe it whatsoever because it comes
Yeah, because
from a liberal.
we have a conservative media. Yeah.
It's not just a conservative media, like because the liberal media also shits on the Democrats
What
for
the liberal media is? What CNN?
CNN, MSNBC.
Dude, MSNBC is like left media ish. All right, CNN is it's just that's center right at this point.
I
CNN
I
has
mean, like,
drifted
yeah,
center
but
right.
like we're talking in relative terms.
Yeah, but like the thing is, the Overton window hasn't shifted that far that CNN would be considered full centrist at this point from
Yeah,
anybody who's actually looking at it. It's like somebody who votes Democrat all their life because their granddaddy did, because LBJ did something for did the New Deal and it was really good for the farm. You know what I mean? People that don't think about who they're voting for, right?
right.
Like those sorts of people, the people that change their party affiliation when they realized, oh, they're actually going to elect black people too.
Yeah,
Yeah. Why the problem? It's propaganda. The reason why Republicans have plot armor is propaganda. And like this is so I think that this comes to do you watch Pondering Politics at all?
not really. It's hard for me to watch people who are like partisan on my side.
Okay. I think you should find his conversations that he has on Wix because and it's I think one of the reasons why I like pondering, and this is a Sunday take, by the way, is him just saying, yeah, I don't have a reason to attack leftward. I don't have a reason to call this out. I don't need to amplify this messaging to the people that agree with me. I should be consistently amplifying the messaging on the people I fundamentally disagree with, right? The critical support can be there, but you got to learn. It's just learning rhetoric. Yeah, AOC. They're gonna say some crazy shit. I don't know if I've really heard AOC say crazy shit about the Jews, but then again,
No,
I'm
no, no.
also been
AOC
damn.
hasn't, but that's why she like was
Yeah,
reelected. But it
but
was
you know what I
who?
mean.
Cory
Like
Bush
the
and the
thing
other
is, though,
person.
wait, Sondsol, here's the thing, though. You have Dan out here. I think if you were to ask Dan off, like just a poll of his arm, hey, do you think AOC said this? What do you think about that? And it's just a completely fake quote, right? Like I think Dan would probably be like, oh yeah, no, I get that. I think AOC's probably a little bit got some anti-Jewish sentiments. I think that like people would just go with that because of the propaganda, and then that gets amplified, and that's how those messages work. Whereas like Republicans don't talk about Republicans. They don't care.
I
Grackle
know that's
will
why, but like
never.
you're repeating what I'm saying. Like 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 part of it's propaganda, yes, and part of it
It's
is like
populism. It's using populism is literally playing with people's emotions, doing propaganda, and being evil.
yeah, and I think that the Democrats need to be like, I wish that the Democrats were as like ruthless and like destructive as the Republicans think that they were, because damn, we would have so
But
much
that's the
more
thing.
shit done.
But wait, the thing is, the Republicans are only that way as a reflection of the base and of the people that are the talking heads, giving those messages out for the base to carry. Which is how, like, they got the whole anti-vax shit near the White House. I don't actually know. Did they get rid of the brainworm dude yet or no?
No, that he's not going anywhere.
Oh, he's like, is he like officially not going anywhere? Like, I mean, that was like what I was actually kind of worried about.
Well, he's no one said it. Like even Bernie Sanders said that he's willing to work with RFK
Yeah, well, yeah.
because they found like the
I mean,
little edge
we probably
cases where
do
they're like,
have
oh,
we
well,
probably
there
do
is some
have
additives in food that like we should get rid of, and maybe we can work with RFK. Like this, he like they're the I can't remember exactly what this guy's role was, but he's like a close confidant and like advisor to RFK, who is currently trying to get the polio vaccine banned in the United
no, I
States.
know. Okay, but so then this is where the critical support where Bernie fails this test, okay? Which is that no, you oppose every bit of it on principle, and you point out the fact that the guy had a brain worm. He slept around on his wife that his ex-wife that he bullied into suicide. Yeah, he's a son of a. All right, I hope that like when he was doing heroin, I wish that when he was doing heroin, we could have avoided a lot of these things for 15 years because he thinks the heroin was good. Sondsol.
Does he really?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I didn't know
That's
that he
what's
did heroin.
Yeah, for years, dude. He talks about it positively. Got him through med school or some shit. I don't know. Law school. I don't know. Anyways, here's the thing, though. This is like, again, yeah, this is what the forced civility does. That is, like, I understand the going after people hard, but the civility part is the part where I think that's the abandonment, right? It doesn't have to be civility, like, oh, we won't work with these people. But what it has to be is Bernie being on message and being like, yeah, this guy has brainworms. Even if I wanted to work with him, maybe he has some good ideas. The vast majority of his ideas are laden with shit and rotting corpses of decayed animals that couldn't even survive inside of his most delicate and sensitive tissue. That's what should be happening.
I don't disagree at all.
Yeah, and that's what the forced civility shit is. So this is why when you about people calling Republicans fascists for years, and then all this comes up, it's like we're being like, oh my god, he's being civil. He's trying to do the best that he can. Like I'm gonna be honest, like this is what
Well, hold on. That's
Democrat.
not at all what I said. Okay,
Okay, I
or
know,
even what I
I know.
think that like the majority of people were
I know that's
trying
not
to
what you
say.
said, but like this is
Or
why
what the
I
majority
have
of
this
people, I think
issue
the
with
reason why
shit.
people were like saying we should like stop calling everyone fascist is because uh, we're labeling like Biden a fascist or like people like me a fascist,
I mean,
right? And
you
it's
have
just,
fascistic tendencies.
yeah, I mean, like, let's not talk about, okay, let's not talk about
Let's
the,
not talk about xenogenders, okay?
okay.
Like, come on.
Okay,
Like,
hold on. Is
let's
that a
be real
fascistic? That's not
here.
fascistic. I only talked about the camps one time, okay? No,
Okay,
but
but this is what I mean, though. Why does this is like so that whole
well,
xenogender
that
shit?
the
Like, you
xenogender shit was
realize, like,
personal, okay?
but okay, it was personal, Sansol, but like you were running a business. You should have just kept shitting on Rob Nor, bro. Like we heard the xenogender shit is a funny day walk in the park,
I
all right?
agree.
And
Like
there
I
were
agree
open fields.
broadly, and I like
There
even
were
looking back at it, I cringe. I cringe. Okay, but because I had the conversation with a bunch of mentally ill people who
Yes,
were like,
but the thing is, those mentally ill people can still vote. And guess what? One party is courting the mentally ill. Look at Grackle.
I know.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, dude. It's just like I feel okay, man. This is what I feel like as at this point. I don't even know. Like I'm vaguely left, but like I'm mostly apolitical, and I realize and accept that, right? It's just after years of all this bullshit, I'm just like, well, cool. I guess you guys are on board with calling them fascists now. Whoopee. I no longer have the soul to even fight after the years of this bullshit, bro. You know
But
what I mean? It's
I
just like
understand what you mean.
it's very disheartening. And it's like, yeah, you want to know why I think a lot of people on the left are, a lot of people I feel are kind of clocked out because it's just like, yeah, what the are we supposed to do, right? Like that's what it feels like. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks to spend years looking at a party that promotes racial division and that they've been doing it. That literally in 2004 ran on going ahead and making sure gay people couldn't get married, right? Like for years, this party has been doing shit to go ahead and divide us as a people against one another, and they have to be dragged by the dick skin to go ahead and even accept basic concepts of liberty. And like, I can't call them. It's like, oh, cool. Now we can call them fascists. Great, wonderful. I'm glad that we got here finally. Like, I'm tired. I want to just look at stupid bullshit on the internet. Tell Resi this is him. I swear to God, if this is the clip, bring it up, Sondsol. Bring up the clip, but play it at 2 times speed. Okay, just do it. It's a good
Little
clip.
baby man, little 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 baby man.
I don't understand.
This is Nair is saying this is me right now.
And who are you, the cat or are you the little baby man men?
The little baby man people are the liberals, and I am the cat. I am the leftist in the pot. I am the lobster that's trying to boil and not scream as I watch myself die. I'm a little baby man, so that's all.
Listen, here.
It's the truth, though. I am being a little baby man right now.